On Tuesday of this week, the Republican presidential campaign of Mitt Romney made a big high-profile campaign stop in Des Moines, Iowa. The campaign billed the event in Iowa as a major policy address by Mr. Romney about the sorry state of the U.S. economy.
America counted on President Obama to rescue the economy, to tame the deficit, and help create jobs. Half the kids who are graduating from college can't find a job that uses their skills. Half. The length of time it takes an unemployed worker to find a job is the longest on record. We could prosper again with the powerful recovery we've all been waiting for, the good jobs that so many still need.
President Obama has failed on jobs. That was the message from Mitt Romney in Iowa. It was a message, though, that was just slightly undercut when news organizations began pointing out that actually the Iowa economy is not so bad right now. Iowa, in fact, has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country. The unemployment rate in Iowa has dropped to 5.1% from 5.9% just a year ago. Earlier this month, Mitt Romney took his campaign to Portsmouth, Virginia. While there in Virginia, Mitt Romney again railed against President Obama for how horrible the economy is right now.
He said he measures progress by whether we're creating jobs that allow people to pay mortgages. Well, he hasn't been creating jobs. They have not been doing what they had to do to create jobs here in Virginia.
President Obama has failed to create jobs in Virginia. That is a good-sounding message. It is a good campaign. But it is massively undercut by the fact that the unemployment rate in Virginia has actually fallen from 7.3% at the beginning of 2010 to 5.6% now. Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, who is standing next to Mitt Romney when he said that, has actually just released $400,000 worth of TV ads in Virginia talking about how great the economy is there. So Mitt Romney's a bit of a problem right now. The message of his campaign, the basis for his candidacy, that the economy is worse than it was when President Obama took office, or at least made worse by Obama's policies, and we should hire Romney to fix it. But in all of these states that he's traveling to, not only is the economy getting better, but there are Republican governors in those states who desperately want to take credit for that. That really awkward dynamic played out perfectly during a trip that Mitt Romney took to the battleground state of Ohio a month ago. Mitt Romney and Ohio's Republican Governor John Kasich met with a group of college kids there, and Mr. Romney, pushing the economy is awful message, tried to prod the college kids into talking about just how awful it is.
You know, I've seen some numbers that were just published about the number of young people graduating from college that are getting jobs and that are getting jobs that are consistent with their skill level. And it says only about half of America's graduating seniors are able to find work or find work that's up to their skill. Are you seeing a better record than that from Audubon, or are you seeing a lot of folks finding it difficult to find a good spot?
Right. Probably a lot of folks difficult finding a good spot, right? That is the message. The economy stinks. There are no available jobs. And then Ohio Governor John Kasich stepped in and stepped all over Mitt Romney's message.
We have a website called Ohio Means Jobs, and there's probably about 80,000 jobs listed on there where there are openings. So you need to tell, yes, you need to tell.
See, we're not told.
You need to tell your friends, and it's Ohio Means Jobs. And if you look through that, you're going to find a lot of real exciting opportunities.
You can almost see the pain on Mitt Romney's face as John Kasich is talking about how many jobs are available in the state. It's a totally contradictory message from the one that Mitt Romney is trying to push, actually was pushing right there. Governor Kasich was actually asked about that glaring contradiction after the event.
It was almost like there were conflicting messages. You know, Romney's message was, we got to bring jobs here. We're really hurting. The Obama administration has failed everywhere, including Ohio. And then you're saying, hey, kids, we got all these jobs going unfilled, and we're creating jobs like crazy. I mean, is it...
Well, I've told, first of all, we are creating a lot of jobs.
He's right. Ohio is creating jobs. The unemployment rate in Ohio is slowly ticking down, as it is all over the country. 48 states have seen a drop in unemployment rates over the past 12 months. This can be an inconvenient truth, particularly if you are Mitt Romney. Not only is the economy getting better, but it's Republicans in these states that are proclaiming the economy better. It's Republican Governor John Kasich of Ohio. It is Republican Governor Bob McDonnell of Virginia, Republican Governor Terry Branstad of Iowa, Republican Governor Rick Snyder of Michigan, Republican Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin. But it may be even worse than he thinks. Earlier today, the conservative Texas Public Policy Foundation attempted to brag about how great the economy is right now under that state's Republican governor and former presidential aspirant, Governor Rick Perry. Josh Trevino, their vice president of communications, tweeted, quote, Texas has been adding jobs now for 21 consecutive months. 21. Now, that is impressive. 21 straight months of job growth is impressive. But as Benji Sarlin at the website Talking Points Memo pointed out in response to that, quote, it's been 26 months nationally. Now, part of this simply goes to show that politicians are always lying and exaggerating and spinning when they take sole credit for jobs or blame others entirely for job losses. The economy is driven by much more than the decisions of politicians. Europe, for instance, as you'll hear about later in the show, is going to have a lot to do with our job creation this year. But Mitt Romney can hardly say that. He could say that while the economy is getting better, it's getting better more slowly than any of us would like. But saying, quote, I think under different policies, job growth could have been faster, does not quite have the ring of saying, as Romney does, that Obama hasn't been creating jobs. And as my colleague, the Washington Post, Greg Sargent, pointed out, Mitt Romney's been very reticent about what he would have done differently in the crisis to create more jobs. So Mitt Romney's got a bit of a messaging problem. Maybe he should consider looking at that Obama birth certificate thing.